I have no idea why, but my camera, I have it on auto light, and it's the time of day where it's just getting mad. We're gonna deal with it because I don't feel like, I put the shutter speed, but I don't want to mess with it because it's a time of day when the lighting is gonna decrease and I'm gonna need the ISO to go up, and we're gonna have it on auto today. So I'm sorry if any of this is just a mess right now, but I need to get this episode recorded, so it's happening. Also, I want to apologize if my lips are blue because I made the smart decision to eat blueberry syrup on French toast before an episode. So I think it's kind of going away, but they're purple, they're blue, they're whatever. Anyways, episode today, I wanted to talk about this because it is something that I notice every single year. I have felt this way. I think I did an episode on it a while back before the YouTube was even started, I think. But every single year, I notice it more and more and more. And I really want to do an episode on it because I feel like it is something that is so important to recognize. And I think that this year, we're really going to see some major differences. Could I be wrong? Yeah, do I want to be wrong? No. But at least this is where I'm going forward in my own journey. Give me a second. Gotta plug in the camera. Okay, wow. I was not prepared at all for this episode. I thought my camera had more battery than it did. But anyways, something that I'm going to be going into, at least for my 2025, especially with the podcast itself, and something that I want to just talk about at the beginning of the year, and something that I encourage others to do as well, is authenticity in branding, in marketing, and just being online in general, no matter if you are just online personally, or if you're online with a brand, if you're online with podcasting, no matter how you're online, to be as authentic as you can with it. And that doesn't mean you have to post the embarrassing moments if you don't want to, right? That's not what authenticity necessarily means, but authenticity in terms of you don't have to be perfect, posting the things that really bring you joy rather than trying to look a certain way. And in branding and marketing, that would mean posting things that really truly are following the values of your brand, are true to your brand, are true to your product, and not really looking at marketing in terms of like, okay, how do we get into people's brains, right? And as someone who is a neuroscience and economics major, marketing kind of fits right in the middle of that. And it is my biggest pet peeve to see how oversaturated the online space, the online world is in general with anything, no matter what kind of, if you're a consumer, if you're someone who's producing online, whatever it is, it's very oversaturated with trying to get people to buy constantly, with trying to get people to basically like using psychology to trick them into getting something that they don't need. And that is my biggest pet peeve because that's what marketing is, right? But as someone who also looks at the neuroscience of it and who has felt the comparison and the feeling like I need 1,000,001 things, it is so oversaturated with so many different things online that are no longer genuine anymore. Things that, basically when you're online, at least for me, when I'm online, I'm constantly thinking I need things that I don't actually need, or I'll get them and then realize, why did I do that? Like this morning, I bought a new pair of glasses that is apparently coming in a few weeks, and I do think I'm gonna like them, so I'll probably end up keeping them. But like, did I need another pair of glasses? No, I did not. But TikTok made me buy it. Just a bunch of different things there where it's like, when a market is so oversaturated, at least when the online space is so oversaturated, people are getting tired. They're getting exhausted. They're getting tired. At least I know, and I'm speaking of this from personal experience, not just from the econ and the neuroscience. I mean, that is something that I've thought about a lot because of what I'm learning in college, but it has nothing to do with that in general. It's just truly, I mean, purely just things that I've been thinking about a lot. I get tired being online, being in spaces where it's just constantly marketing, constantly influencing, constantly like there's this and that, and there's a million different things. People are getting tired. I know I'm getting tired, and I think, I mean, from what I've seen in general, we're getting tired. The things that I'm attracted to online have become the people that I know are genuine. The brands that I know are genuine. They are being themselves. They are not, like, their number one priority is not to get more consumers. It's to make a connection with the consumers that they have. And that, to me, is what we are starting to crave as human beings. I mean, even if you don't consciously realize it, your brain is going to start to get tired. And without consciously realizing it, you're probably going to pick up on the brands or the people or the things online that seem more authentic. I already was following people and brands that felt very authentic to me. And one day I really sat down and honestly, when I was creating my brand, so a few years ago, I really sat down and I thought, okay, what is it about all these different things, all these different people that I follow that call my attention? What is it that call my, like, why? What is it that they all have in common? And the thing that I came down to was they all feel very authentic. And then I was like, okay, well, what is it about the people that I might follow for a few days and then unfollow? What is that? And a lot of times it was because it didn't feel as authentic. And I noticed that pattern and I was like, okay, so I'm, not even consciously doing this. Is that a pattern just in general? And I do think that it is. And I do think that the more that the online space grows, the more that we're going to start craving that. I mean, even thinking about the fact that, like, I'm going to bring in fashion here. 90s fashion, so popular. Vintage style, so popular right now. Do I love it? Yes. And why do I love it? Because it makes me feel offline. I mean, does that make any sense at all? Seeing things from the past when we were not so focused on being online, I am obsessed with it lately. And just in general, I have been obsessed with it because it makes me feel less need to always be online. Like, I've been trying to read physical books more lately. I've been trying to, I got rid of my Apple Watch and I got this. This is just an old watch from my grandma and I love it, right? I have been doing as much as I possibly can to get off of my phone, and I've been doing it for years, but I've been noticing that even it seems like some of the things that are maybe trending now a little bit too are starting to pick up on that just a little bit. And maybe I am just making this all up, okay? Maybe I am, but this is something that I have been seeing, and I'm predicting that this is why it's happening. I think that we feel a little lost right now. And I think that in an online space that grows faster than we can evolve with it, we just end up craving things that make us feel good about ourselves, right? Things that can make us feel content. And authenticity, seeing an authentic person online, seeing an authentic brand, that's going to make you feel a lot better about yourself, right? If you're watching someone online who's not authentic, who has this life that seems perfect, but they really just curate it to make it look that way and they don't have any connection with you, you're going to feel pretty terrible about yourself because you're going to feel like that's the reality and you need to be like that. And you're not going to be like that. You're not going to be able to be like that because it's not real. Versus if you're looking at a person online who's super authentic, who's making connections, who's being honest online, you're going to feel better about yourself because it's going to inspire you to do the same thing, to be honest with yourself. That, to me, is the huge just pattern that I've been seeing in these last few years, and I feel like we're going to see a lot more of it in 2025. And maybe part of why I feel that way is because, of course, we have we have the algorithms, and they know, the algorithms, all social media platforms, like, it knows what I want to see. So maybe I'm the only one seeing it, but it's what I've been noticing, and it's what I think that I feel like could be really beneficial for all of us. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm not telling you what to do here, but I do feel like it is something that could be beneficial for a lot of people because I think that we are chronically online. I am. And I do a lot to try and not be, and I know that I still am. Over the holidays, I practically threw out my phone. I was so close. Sometimes all I want is just a flip phone, but I know it's really almost impossible to be an adult in today's world and have a flip phone. It's hard, it's difficult. I don't know if I'd be able to do it, but being online has just been hurting me more and more as the years go on. And I really wonder if that's going to continue. Like, is that just a me thing, or is it happening to everyone? Like, if you're watching this, let me know, please. Like, is this something that people are realizing? Because I think that it's something that is slowly going to progress, and what's going to happen with it, I don't know. I feel like brands are just going to continue to push. I feel like people are going to continue to try and be perfect because it's human nature. We want to seem perfect. We don't want to feel bad about ourselves, right? But I think that there might also be, everything seems to come in trends, which is a whole other conversation that we could be having, but I feel like there might be a little bit more of a trend coming up where people are going to be trying to have a little bit more of slow living. Have you guys heard of like the coastal granddaughter trend? I heard of it the other day. I was like, this is ridiculous. But the idea behind it I thought was fine because it was just so weird to me that it's a trend and that's how it appeared as a trend. But the idea behind it is basically like embracing slow living. And I don't think that, I don't think it needs to be a trend if that helps show people that maybe they should spend more time offline, then okay, whatever. But living slower, paying attention to what you have, being grateful for what you have, seeing the world around you, finding joy in the little things, maybe your inner child again. Like, I've been reading a lot more. I've been writing letters to my grandparents, which has been so fun. I've been wanting to paint a little bit more, all these different things that have, kind of grabbed my attention. And I think that that's part of what we're starting to crave. So my prediction is that that's what's going to happen with marketing and just online space in general. But how can you be a part of that? Embrace the slow living. Embrace the moments where you might feel a little bored. You might not know what to do. And allow yourself to just be. Allow yourself to just feel. Because that, to me, when I allow myself to just exist, that's when I feel the best. That's when I learn to slow down and I learn to be in company with myself. I learn to be with myself and nothing else. And that is huge. And I think that is ultimately what could make a huge change in the way that the online space is. That doesn't mean it's going to go away, right? We don't need it to go away. There's some really amazing things online. But I do think that there's some sort of transformation that might need to happen because I think it's starting to tire me out. And I'm thinking I'm not the only one. So that's what I've been focusing on. I've been focusing on being more authentic with myself in moments where I do not feel great, where I feel bored. Instead of getting online, I've been trying to spend more time with myself, trying to get to know myself, trying to just figure it out. And you guys, it's hard. It's so much work. I feel like I've lost it so much. I used to do that so often. I used to journal every single day, all these different things. And I don't know if I'm going to do that again. I don't know if it's going to look exactly the same as it did before, but I do feel like I need to really focus on connecting with myself a little bit more. So that's my big thing of 2025. I think it's time to breathe and it's time to connect with ourselves. And I invite you to join along because I do think it's going to be huge. And I think the person I am at the end of 2025 versus the person I am now is going to be very different. And I'm excited to see those transformations.